Hi class, so welcome to the beginning of our remote lecturing. These videos are going to be pretty similar to what we do in class, all right? I'll give notes and I'll ask you questions, and at various points, you should try to stop and make sure you're following along. Feel free to pause, rewind, do whatever you need. And we'll have discussion online. You can always ask me any questions that you want. I'm going to set up a discussion board on the Canvas page where we'll just be able to post questions that we have from each lecture, and I'll make sure to respond timely and make sure that any questions you have are answered as soon as possible. All right? So let's begin. So if you remember last class, what did we cover? All right, we introduced 4 measures of fairness. All right, and these measures were called equitable, proportional, envy-free, and Pareto optimal. Okay, so I recommend that you go back, take a look through your notes, refresh yourself what these mean. Equitable, right? The key term here was that it's sort of equal, all right? So that everyone got an equal share. Proportional, the key word there is proportion, that everyone got at least their proportion of the share. Envy-free meant that nobody envied one another, and Pareto optimal meant that we were maximizing how much happiness we could have amongst everyone. Right? And so we analyzed a couple divisions, and we introduced Knaster's inheritance procedure. And so what this was a way for us to divide up inheritance. So maybe we have an item that's being inherited by many people, and they each value the item differently. And how can we give the item but also fairly compensate the people who didn't get the item? All right. And so today I'd like to just do another example of Knaster's inheritance, and we'll see how to do Knaster's inheritance for multiple people. Multiple people and multiple items. And if you remember the worksheet that we handed out last class, the example on the back was just a way to, was just helping us go through this. All right, so let's just do an example with one item, right? This is actually the same example from last class. All right, we had the cat, and we had 3 people. It was you, it was Todd, and we'll say Jeff, all right? And you each valued it differently. You valued the cat at $90. Todd valued the cat at $30. Jeff, again, hating the cat, only values it at 0. Okay, and so we gave a sample division, but what I'd like to do is actually give the division that Knaster's inheritance procedure would say to give. All right. Okay, and so the first thing that you have to do is we're going to calculate what's called the fair share. All right. What does everyone deserve? And how it's going to work is, well, for you, you think that the cat's worth $90, so you should be okay as long as you get 1/3 of that value, which would end up with 30. Right? Todd would be okay. Again, if you get a third of what he thinks it's worth, Todd is happy if he walks away with 10, and Jeff is happy if he walks away with 0. Right? Jeff is just happy if you don't make him pay all the expenses that he owes. He hasn't been paying for food lately. All right. Okay. So how does Knasters work? The first thing that we do is the cat will go to the person who values it the most. Okay. So here I'm just going to make an items column, and okay, you get the cat, you get nothing else, and here the items value to you is 90, and everyone else has no items, so they get nothing from their items. And the point is, we need to make a cash adjustment in order to bring our total value, right, equal in line with our fair share. Okay, so here maybe for item value I'll even just write 0 and 0 for Todd and Jeff. Right, Todd needs to get to 10, so he needs plus $10. He needs to be given $10. Jeff is okay with nothing, so Jeff doesn't need any adjustment. He already has 0, so we just give him 0 more. And for you, right, you have the cat, which is worth 90 to you, and so you should pay $60, right, in order to have the fair share of 90, right? And all I'm doing to calculate that, right, is you have 90, you're trying to get down to 30, so what's the difference between 90 and 30? Well, that's just 60, so you pay 60. Right, that's all I'm doing there. Okay, and so the next thing that happens with Knaster's inheritance is that we have an extra cash to give out, right? So you actually gave $60, but only $10 has been taken out, all right? And so how do we keep track of how much extra money there is? We'll use what's called a kitty. And we'll see, okay, well, how much money is in the kitty? You gave 60, and then Todd took out 10, and then Jeff took out 0. And so there's altogether $50 left in the kitty. And now I'll make a column for, say, kickback from the kitty. The idea is that there's $50 extra, and who should benefit from it? Everyone should benefit equally. So this $50 is split 3 ways. Well, that's just 50 divided by 3 to each person involved. Okay, so what's 50 divided by 3? Yeah, I should probably know stuff like this. We got 16.67. I definitely did not need to use a calculator to do that. All right. And so, okay, this $50 that's extra gets shared to everyone. They're going to get $16.67 back. Okay. So if we look, right, even though Jeff, right, is okay with nothing, right, he still actually gets money out of this exchange, right, because it's only fair, all right, that he gets this kickback from the kitty that's equal to everyone else, right? No one should really benefit more than anyone else out of this whole exchange. Okay. So what's the final division then? Well, what did you get? Remember, so you got your cat, right? You look in that item section, and you get that cat. but you had to pay $90, you had to pay $60 in your cash adjustment to get that cat. What did Todd get? Todd got $10 in order to get up to his fair share. Again, that's just from the cash adjustment column. And Jeff got $0. Okay, that's the first step, but then remember, we each got some kickback from the kitty of $16.67. And so here, we should add 16.67 to each person's account. All right. And so the final totals are that Jeff gets $16.67, and that's going to be paid from by you. Todd gets $26.67, and you get the cat, and you get 60. You have to pay 60 plus $16.67. So you end up paying $43.33. And there you go. That's our final division. All right, and so just some questions to think about. All right. Is this equitable? Proportional? Envy-free? And Pareto optimal? These are the sorts of analyses that we're going to do on these divisions, and so it's a good moment maybe to pause the video and think a little bit for yourself which of these properties we satisfied with this division. Okay, so let's look at this now. Is it equitable? Remember, are all of these values equal? Okay, and so it might be a little bit hard. We might need to think about how much is cat minus $43 really worth to you, but we don't even need to look that far because already we see that these bottom two ones are just not equal, so the answer just has to be no. Todd and Jeff have different values. Okay, and this is just kind of what's always going to happen with Knaster's inheritance procedure. Knaster's inheritance procedure is not developed to be equitable. However, it is made to be proportional. All right? So why is this proportional? Well, if you look, this area in green up here, this was guaranteeing that everyone got their fair share. Everyone got their fair share. And this extra piece in blue over here, right, this was just a bonus on top of everyone's fair share. So everyone got their fair share plus extra, right? And so Knaster's inheritance procedure is made to be proportional and always kind of even better than proportional if you want to think about it that way. You get your fair share plus everyone benefits a little bit, right? Is this envy-free? Well, there, the answer is no, all right? Again, all the cases of envy might be a little bit hard to analyze because we need to think about how much the cat is worth to everybody. But at least there should be one obvious case of envy, right? Of course, Jeff, right, envies Todd. Right? And the reason why is quite simple, right? Would you rather have $16 or $26? Okay. So what about Pareto optimal? Answer here is actually yes, it is Pareto optimal. The thing is that each item, in this case there's only one item, the cat, goes to the person who wanted the cat the most, right? So each item was given to the person who valued it the most. All right, and so there's no way to make everyone happier because, well, we're already sort of extracting the most value out of the cat, right? The cat is worth 90, and if we gave it to anyone else, it would just be worth 30 or 0, which would be much worse. So this is, in fact, a Pareto-optimal division, right? And so these are sort of the two properties that Knaster's inheritance procedure will satisfy. It'll always be proportional, and it will always be Pareto-optimal, right? And these are sort of the reasons why we like it in terms of a division procedure amongst any number of people for any number of items. All right. So this was sort of just reviewing what we did last time. What I'd like to show you today is Knaster's for multiple items. And what I'd like you to try after watching this is just the back of the worksheet. Okay. So let's take a look. All right, so here's the example we're going to be looking at. All right. We have 4 friends. All right, Hannah, Michael, Leah, and Ase. Right, and they have just come into a big inheritance. All right, their great aunt Midge just passed away. Very sad, but she left 3 items. Right, she left a nice boat, a summer cottage, and some Waterford crystal. All right, very fancy stuff. Okay, she was rich. All right, so how much does Hannah value the boat? Hannah values the boat at, say, $20,000. Michael values the boat at $10. Leah values the boat at $5. And Ase values the boat at $7. Okay. And so we could do a Knaster's inheritance problem just like the one above with just a single item, right, by following the steps we did before, and we could do that for each item, but that would take a long time. And so what I'd like to show you is that we can kind of do all of these divisions all at once. Okay, so let's also ask them at the same time, how much do they like the cottage, how much do they like the Waterford crystal? Okay, so I'll just fill in the table. Hannah likes the cottage, is willing to spend $15,000 on it. Michael is willing to spend $16,000. Leah loves the outdoors, all right, willing to spend $25,000 on it. Ase, $10,000. What about the crystal? Hannah is not so much into it. We'll only spend $5,000 on it. Michael would spend $10,000. Leah would like $6,000. Ase, he likes shiny things. All right, he would spend $15,000 on that. Okay. And so the first thing that I need to do, right, so this is just a setup. Now we're going to kind of continue this table to see what everyone should get. And the first thing we need to do is just see how much everyone values the whole collection, right? So this will say like total value, right? Let's call it that, right? So I'll just add up across the columns or across the row, and in total, Hannah values the whole lot at $40,000. Michael values the whole lot at, what is this, $36,000. Leah values it at $36,000 in total as well. And Ase values it at, I should be able to do this, huh? $32,000. All right. Okay. And why are we going to do that? Well, because now, when we talk about people getting their fair share, well, what are they going to be happy coming away with? Well, Hannah believes it's worth $40,000 in total. So if she comes away with $10,000, she'll believe that she has her fair share. And now I'm dividing by 4 because there's 4 people whom we're splitting these items between. And I can do that with each of the total values to see what they'd be happy getting. Let's divide everything by 4. Michael would be happy with $9,000. Leah would be happy with $9,000. And Aze would be happy with $8,000. Okay. Great. Now what do we need to do? Well, we need to decide who gets the items. So within each column, right, we'll just see who bid the most. So it looks like Hannah bid the most for the boat, Leah bid the most for the cottage, and Aze bid the most for the crystal. Okay. And so Michael didn't actually win any items because he didn't bid the most on any of them. But don't worry, right? We'll compensate him for not getting the items. So let's write down which items they won. Hannah won the boat. Michael did not win anything. Leah won the cottage. And Aze won the crystal. Okay. And now just like before, right, I can say, okay, well, how much value do they have? So what is the value of the items that they currently have? We'll go back to the bids. Looks like Hannah thought that the boat was worth 20. Okay, 20. Michael has no items. Leah thought the cottage was worth 25. Right, that's just from her bid there. And Aze thought the crystal was worth 15,000. Okay. And so you'll see again, right, you just compare these numbers, a lot of people have more than their fair share. Right? So we're going to adjust using cash to get everyone up to or down to their fair share. All right. So how much cash does Hannah need to pay to get from her item value of 20 down to her fair share of 10? Hannah needs to pay 20 minus 10. This will be $10. Okay, but actually, right, she's paying $10, so there should be a negative 10. What about Michael? Michael is going up from 0 to 9, so he needs to get plus 9,000. What about Leah? Well, she wants to get to 9. She has 25, so the difference there is going to be negative 16. And same thing for Aze. Aze is trying to get to 8, but has 15, so he needs to pay negative $7,000. Or sorry, he's paying 7,000, right? Okay, so you see that we can just subtract the fair share from the item value. To get the cash adjustment value. And so if you want to, you can think of it in terms of this kind of formula. But again, I caution against just thinking of everything in terms of formula. Just really think about what we're doing with this cash number, right? We have some value from the items, and we need to pay for the items that we get, right? You can think of this as sort of paying for the item that you're getting. And so Hannah has to pay 10,000, Leah pays 16, Aze pays 7, right? And then we compensated Michael for not getting any items by just giving him some cash. Okay. And so just like before, what are we going to do? Well, we have the cash adjustment, and so what we're going to do is we're going to make a kitty. Okay. And so what's being put into the kitty? Okay. Now the thing is that many people can contribute to the kitty. So if Hannah paid $10, right, then the kitty got plus 10, right? And then Leah paid 16, so the kitty gets plus 16. So you see it's always opposite the sign of what they're paying. Aze pays in 7. And the only person who ended up taking out money was Michael. And so what's in the kitty? We have 10 plus 16 plus 7 minus 9. If my math is correct, it looks like there's $24,000 in the kitty. Okay. And so, well, what should we do? This should be divided 4 ways. Split back 4 ways. So each person gets 24 divided by 4, which looks like $6,000 back. And so I'll call that the kickback. Maybe I'll call it the kickback from the kitty, just so we know really exactly where that's coming from. Okay, it looks like everyone's going to get plus 4, plus 4. Oops. Of course, I meant plus 6. That's what we just did. Okay. All right, and that's it. Now we've done Knaster's inheritance procedure. We split 3 items up, and if you look, it wasn't that much more work than splitting up 1 item. We just had to take into account the fact that 3 items need to be given out, right? Well, let's summarize our division just kind of nicely. We'll come back over here. Oops. So, what's the final division? Okay, so we have Hannah, Michael, Leah, and Aze. And so the first thing we'll do is we'll just write all the items they got. Right, so Hannah got the boat, Leah got the cottage, Aze got the crystal, Michael got nothing, right? But now we'll look at the cash adjustment value, right? How much did they have to pay to get these items? Minus 10 plus 9 minus 16 minus 7. So minus 10. Michael got plus 9. Leah got minus 16. And Aze got minus 7. Right? Okay, but then again, we needed to also include the kickback from the kitty. And so going back here, we'll just add on that $6,000 for each person, which gives final totals of Hannah getting the boat and only paying $4,000, Michael getting $15,000, Leah getting the cottage and only paying $10,000, and Aze getting the crystal and only paying $1,000. That's our final division. Okay, so hopefully those steps made sense. I guess what's nice about recording this as a video is you can always rewind and go back through everything. The one thing that I want to mention at the end of this problem is calculate the value that everyone thinks they have. And again, why would we look at this? Well, we want to check, was this a proportional, was this an equitable, envy-free, blah, blah, blah. We want to check all these properties. We're going to have to look at what everyone thinks they have, right? So remember, okay, so Hannah has the boat minus 4. What does she think the boat is worth? Well, she thinks the boat is worth 20. So really she has 20 minus 4 or $16,000. It's easy for Michael. He just has $15,000, so he has $15,000. Leah has the cottage, which was $25,000. Again, just looking up here. Minus 10, so it looks like she has $15,000. And Aze has the crystal, minus $1. So crystal's worth $15,000 for him, and you subtract 1, looks like he has $14,000 in total. All right. And so was this equitable? No, right? They have different value amounts. Was it proportional though? Yes, because compare those numbers up there to their fair shares down here, or rather compare the numbers down here to the fair shares up there, notice that they always have more than their fair share. Okay, so it is proportional. Right? And again, that's sort of the whole point of Knasters, is that's proportional. And then you might say, oh, well, won't Eze be sad? Eze kind of got the least value out of everything. But at the same time, he sort of did value everything less than everyone. So it's not surprising that if he thought everything was worth less, that he thinks he came away with less value than the other people. All right. So, but now, give it a try. Okay, try the worksheet. Worksheet's back. All right. I sort of tried to walk you through the problem again on the back of the worksheet. So give it a shot. Try to follow along with the video. Rewatch if you need. And how are we going to collect it? Well, since we don't have a physical class, we'll just collect it through Canvas. Right? Upload pictures to Canvas. Okay, so even though I'd like for you to try the back, please do upload the back as well. I'd like to see how you're all doing on it. I will only grade the first page like we agreed upon earlier. All right, take care. Have a good break. See you later.